Welcome to the Epcotian Adventure,
a podcast where we talk about all things Disney, but we're Epcot-centered.
including tips and tricks, festivals and favorites, and the very latest in our rankings and reviews.
But we're still old enough to remember when D23 just meant you had found 23D tickets to use at the park. Skyway, anyone?
This is episode 74. D23, our predictions and wishes.
Or, get out your magic 8-ball, everyone. Let's make some predictions.
So now, please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the podcast as we embark on our Epcotian adventure. Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 74 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And we're going to talk about D23, because, everybody else is. Why not?
Well, we're just 2 weeks away from D23 as we're recording this, and as you're about to listen to this. So, time is going quickly, and we are ready to do some convention.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is our first year getting to go.
Get to wing our way out to the coast.
Yes.
Like you do. Got to California.
It's going to be a weekend full of adventure.
And Disneyland again. It's been a while since we've actually been to the Anaheim Park, so it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. We haven't really talked about any of the process of D23 at all yet. We have mentioned that we're going. The process to get tickets was super interesting, not what I expected it to be.
And extremely hard.
Very hard.
Yeah. We wanted to go for all 3 days, and we got Saturday.
We got one. And even that was kind of a crapshoot. Like, it was touch and go there for a minute.
Well, and we didn't get Honda Center, which is a bummer.
No, I know, right? Well, we're very low man on the totem pole. Disney's not inviting us anywhere. No, we're not one of those people.
No, wait a minute. We have tens of people that listen to us every episode.
And you're one. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But we're excited for what we get to experience, even if we just get to walk around the shops and see things and talk to people with lanyards. We're going to be excited.
Well, and we'll probably be doing several of the panels. We're waiting still to see what we get. That'll be a week ahead when you find out what you actually got, what you signed up for.
Yeah, that was a whole separate process.
Also very odd. So again, being our first time, I think it was just kind of an eye-opener.
Yeah.
To see how it all works.
Yeah, and again, for that, you had to enter a virtual queue. You had to wait for your time in line, watch your little guy progress across that line, very painstakingly slow.
Yeah, hop-me, skip-me, hop-me, skip-me.
And then once you're in, you get to select what you want, but you don't find out what you get for, 2 more weeks. So
Weird.
We find out this coming weekend, what we actually got as far as panels and such. So we're excited.
With D23, obviously there's been a lot of people already putting out predictions ahead of us. So we're going to talk about what we think will be the things that are talked about at D23, but also we're going to throw in some of our own wishes because, you've probably heard us talk about quite a few things that we'd love to see at the parks.
We did a whole Blue Sky episode, a whole Disney Are You Listening episode. Actually, we've done a couple of them.
We did one specifically for that, but it seems like every other episode we throw in a few things that we'd love to see. So
very true. This
is going to be kind of a merge or a meld of all of that, I think.
Yeah.
So
a gumbo, if you will.
Yeah, very nice. It's a very way to work the tea on a
yeah,
bit.
That was good. That was good, right? Should we back up just a tiny step? And Rod, tell us, what is D23? What are we talking about?
Very great question. D23 is a convention that runs every 2 years in Anaheim, and it's literally the Disney geek, like Comic-Con almost, of Disney convention. They've done other ones in Tokyo. They've done them in Florida. They are going to be doing one in South America. So they do run every year someplace, but every other year it's in Anaheim, and it's a huge to-do. They always have a big reveal for things from the movies and from the parks and from other media that Disney owns. The biggest thing always seems to be the parks and resorts group as far as what people wait for.
That's definitely what our focus is, so we're excited for that part.
Yeah, and that's a good point, is we're really going to cover Disney parks. We're not going to be talking about Marvel films or ABC television or ESPN or anything else that might be part of D23. We're really going to concentrate on Disney parks. That's kind of our forte.
It's our jam.
Yeah.
So, first things first, what we're mostly hoping is going to come out of this is a lot more concrete elements. Last D23, Disney kind of got reamed after the fact because everything they mentioned was blue sky.
Too much blue sky. There was nothing. It wasn't even made of balsa wood. I mean, let alone concrete.
We still enjoyed it. Like, we just watched it after the fact, like everyone else on YouTube. But we still enjoyed it because we enjoy the blue sky element of Disney Imagineering. But people were disappointed because there was no, hey, we're building this ride in this land. We are introducing this character to this park. There was none of that. It was all, hey, we have this big open space and we're going to do something with it.
Well, and the stuff that they talked about for Epcot, we had grand plans and great things, and we ended up with a high school cafeteria.
Yeah, the Celebration Plaza, and again, we enjoy Celebration Plaza because it is a chance to get to sit with Walt for a minute.
Walt the Dreamer statue is beautiful.
And we like areas that are peaceful and quiet. At Epcot, a little shade would have been great, but we like those little niches that are set away, so not entirely disappointed, but Communicore Hall.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't seen it in person. Maybe it's a different experience.
And the Play Pavilion and the Mary Poppins attraction.
Yeah. They promised a lot and delivered very, very little. And originally, Communicore Hall was like this huge development where they were going to do concerts and they were going to do live demonstrations. And maybe some of that's still coming. Right now, okay, go to your local, wherever your closest Baptist church is. Go into the multi-purpose room.
There you
That's
go.
what it looks like.
So true.
I'm not sure exactly what they're going for, but right now it looks very temporary, and it's very disappointing based on what they had promised at D23. So what we're hoping for this year is some more concrete elements that we can grasp onto and say, yes, by this date we will see this thing.
And when we say concrete, we mean concrete, but with shade. Please. Please build something with shade.
Not necessarily
Not
concrete.
Toy Story Land. Not
yes.
thing recently has been built with no shade. Oh. Anyway, let's talk about Disney parks.
Yes.
Because that's what we do. It's our jam, like you said.
It is. So normally we would start with Epcot, but there's not a lot of teasers for Epcot this year.
Nothing left. It's all been built.
So we're gonna jump right over to Magic Kingdom. Let's start there.
Beyond Big Thunder was something that was brought up over the last couple years. It's been released already as the concept for the Frontierland area extending around the rivers of America past Big Thunder Mountain.
Which is very exciting, because right now that's just empty land.
It's a dead end, really. And if you're stuck over there during the parade, you're kind of screwed. So, yeah.
So we don't know exactly the scope of what they're intending to release right now. They have potentially that entire region to use.
Well, let's talk about what we know. They did put out concept art that showed what appeared to be Coco and possibly Encanto as themed IPs for that area.
Which I love.
But
I love that.
It's a single picture so far. There's nothing really that shows this will be a restaurant or an attraction or merchandise, anything of that nature. So there's a couple
lots of
things.
Speculation on what things are.
Very true.
Without them saying, we're a little hesitant to say, like, even when we get there, we'll talk about Tropical Americas, but we're a little hesitant to speculate on specifics at this point. But what we hope...
Here's kind of what we're thinking, or through discussions Sue and I have had. Coco, of course, would be a really great theme, like an IP for that region, for Frontierland. Basically turning that area back there into a mini, maybe like a South America kind of feel, and bringing in Coco. I think it's a really good fit. A lot could be done with that as far as maybe putting in a nice sit-down Mexican restaurant.
Yes.
With a walk-up, similar to the Mexico Pavilion.
Right. Where they have San Angel over there.
Yeah.
That would be great. Something Magic Kingdom is lacking in good sit-down.
It's lacking in good food, period.
Well,
so, yeah.
That too.
And then, on top of that, putting in an attraction similar to the Grand Fiesta Tour at Mexico. And people have talked about maybe having that become Coco. There's no line area. There's no place to put a queue. So, honestly, not duplicating it, but doing that same type of large-scale, high-capacity boat ride with Coco as the theme, I think would be a really good fit for that back corner.
I agree. And it would be great location for a nice family dark ride. Coco is a fantastic movie. We don't want to duplicate the story specifically as you go through. Like most dark rides, you just kind of hit the highlights. I mean, we don't want to send people off the ride and directly into therapy. So, we can use a little license there. But it would be great to have some Coco rep in the park, I think.
And then for Encanto, our thought for Encanto would be something akin to Mystic Manor at Hong Kong Disneyland. Something that is a large-scale dark ride, but another e-ticket for that back corner with a trackless, highly themed and
highly technical.
Yeah, lots of tech. Similar to Mystic Manor, I think would be perfect, and it fits Encanto perfectly.
Having Casita coming to life around you would be absolutely incredible. And it wouldn't have to follow the storyline, which is loose at best in that movie.
Kind of an introduction like they do for the Family Madrigal.
Yes.
Where it's more of just an introduction. So another attraction that does not have a villain, actually for that back corner wouldn't be bad, since you already have Tiana's has gone that route.
Yeah.
Thunder, it's a roller coaster. But having another family-friendly attraction, no height requirement, and just a fun representation of Casita would be just stunning. I just think it would be fantastic for that back corner.
So for the American parks, something similar as far as the tracklessness that we're talking about would be more akin, I think, to Mickey's Runaway Railway. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Don't want to leave out Minnie.
Right.
So or, something that was...
Rise of the Resistance, yeah.
Yeah, but Rise of the Resistance is more action-based as
true.
Opposed to whimsy-based.
True, very true. So yeah, more Minnie and Mickey, yeah.
Yeah, so that's style is sort of what we're talking about. But having Casita come to life around you, I just think would be so much fun. And there's so much opportunity there. What I'm hoping doesn't happen is, like when they talked about doing Mary Poppins ride in Epcot, everyone got super excited. Mary Poppins is finally going to get her due. She's going to have a great dark ride. And then they released what it was going to be, and it was going to be the teacups. And I'm hoping that does not happen to these two great IPs.
Please, no more spinny rides. No more spinny rides.
We don't need spinnies. We don't need another spinner Dumbo style. That park already has 4. We don't need another teacups. They already have one. Well, Dumbo has 2 stations. Yeah. I'm counting that.
I was like, 1,
Plus,
2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right.
But no more of those. We need actual IP-based rides, not a carnival ride with an IP slapped on top of it.
So other people that we've heard talk about this have said possibly this could be where Moana would go. I've also heard people say that Moana could go over towards Adventureland, just the other side of the parade route. So between Pirates and, I almost said Splash, but Tiana's. There's a big area back there that it could fit into. I think putting 2 of the same style attraction next to each other, so 2 attractions with a drop and a splash.
Assuming Moana's going to be a water-based ride.
Right, which is what we saw from the original concepts, looked like it had a splash drop.
I just wanted to explain what you were talking about because you said 2 similar rides.
Oh, very good point, very good point. And realistically 3 if you count Pirates.
Right, well
so
that's true.
Having 3 of those type of flume rides next to each other seems a little redundant. Okay, here's my thought, and I know I've said this before, but reach over to Tokyo Disney Seas and bring the Sinbad attraction over into Adventureland. I just think it would be great.
That would be amazing anywhere. I still vote that one goes to Epcot when they're ready to bring it over here, if it ever comes over here. Considering it's not traditional Disney IP, it may never make its way to the parks.
That's true. And we've talked about possibly Morocco being a great fit for that as well.
And we're also, Moana's having this gigantic takeover of all the parks. She just got an attraction in Epcot. She's getting one now, we're assuming, in Animal Kingdom. I don't know that we need Moana in Adventureland.
Well, that's true. Well,
but we'll see.
Let's talk about Animal Kingdom next then, because that leads into what we were going to talk about with Tropical Americas.
Yeah. And this is sort of what I alluded to earlier, in that they have released drawings that are a little more detailed, and you can kind of see like the shapes of buildings and rooftops, and you can kind of speculate. And I'm still hesitant to do that, even based on those drawings, because when you're talking about a blue sky concept drawing, they can change so easily. So don't hook your fins. That's not the thing. Don't attach your hook. Don't get too attached. Don't get too attached to
Don't
those
let
drawings.
Maui put his hook into your
there
boat.
we go.
There you go. Okay. Well, we know, or well, we think we know, everybody is speculating that Dino is going to become an Indiana Jones attraction.
Yeah, I think that's a done deal.
I
I really do.
Here's my thought for this, and actually, Sue and I kind of fleshed this out at lunch today, talking about maybe instead of just a large deity that gets really pissed off at you and wants to kill you with lasers out of its eyes.
Which it could do still.
Have something, yeah, well, that's true. But have something more like the Aztecs or the Incas be the native peoples that built the pyramid, and then have it being the ghosts of the Spaniard conquistadors that came in.
The colonialists.
The colonialists, basically, trying to take over Mexico or South America. And you're caught in the middle of this eternal battle that continues.
Which, again, could be more of a Mystic Manor style ride, but I think that they'll keep the ride system in there, don't you?
I do. Most likely they're going to keep the vehicles and the ride backbone, because it's already built into the structure. It's just going to be...
And it's perfect. There's no need to change it. The only thing would be if they were to change it at all and rip that sucker out and put in a brand new thing, it would be really fun to have a coaster-style ride in the style of the Donkey Kong that's coming, where you can skip over the track and jump the track. And
well, then it would be from Indy 2 or
Indy
3?
2.
2, yes, with short round.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones, hold on to your potatoes.
That would be really fun. But I think they're going to keep the ride structure exactly as it is, overlay a beautiful new indie adventure, and it's going to be fun.
Well, and I think this is where Moana would fit best, too, because the park really does need another e-ticket. Now, assuming that it is considered an e-ticket for Indy to come in, because Dino is kind of, when it was Countdown to Extinction and all that, it was really the e-ticket for the entire park. And it really is, it's more of a D-ticket now, in my opinion. So, along that same line, if you were to bring Moana in as something that's like Pirates in Shanghai, and that kind of technology, it would be fantastic.
That would be really fun.
Animal Kingdom.
And it would also be a family thrill ride.
Yeah, no height requirement again. Most likely.
So I think that is what the area needs, because they are replacing what is mostly a kids area. So they're going to have to keep some of that kid element in there, I think.
Yeah, and the graphic that we saw also has what looks like to be a round ride of some sort, whether it's going to be a spinner ride or a carousel or something. It's hard to tell from the graphic. Looks like there will be a family-friendly flat ride of some sort.
And again, that could be a great opportunity to bring in some Three Caballeros, or you could bring in Coco over there. You could. There's lots of opportunity for other IP that they could also introduce in a smaller element.
Yeah, agreed.
Or they could give Chip and Dale in their cute little dino costumes a ride.
I think all the dino stuff's going away.
I know, but Chip and Dale in their dino costumes are so cute, and I want them to be somewhere.
They need to just put them out on Discovery Island.
They're just so stinking
cute. Speaking of the tree, Zootopia has already been announced as an IP coming to Animal Kingdom, and based on the graphics that we've seen, it looks like it is definitely going into the Tree of Life, meaning that Tough to Be a Bug will finally be exterminated mercifully.
Yay.
I'm sorry, I hate that attraction with passion.
Awful. It's awful.
But Zootopia is one of the favorite IPs of both Sue and I, and having that as the swap out for that, I think is going to be a fantastic thing. Pretty sure that's a 99% surety that that's going to get announced.
Yeah, from what they've said. And it'll be another 4D attraction, just like what's in there. So, movie plus, basically. Hopefully a little less scary and intimidating than Tough to Be a Bug. And a little more family-friendly, less screaming children would be great.
That would be fantastic. Screaming children, screaming adults.
Well, that's
Those spiders are scary.
Yeah, they are. So that would be really fun. Seeing all the Zootopia stuff coming out right now on YouTube about the new land.
Shanghai, yeah.
It just makes me want to go so bad, but we'll take what we can get, and if that is a movie, a 4D experience, then we'll take it.
So let's look at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Really, there's not much, or actually, I don't think there's anything. We know that the new replacement for the Little Mermaid show is coming.
Yes. And in addition to that, we're hoping they're going to make some sort of announcement a little looser, a little more blue sky but that something is going to be happening with Animation Courtyard. What that is, we have no idea. They haven't even hinted yet. I'm hoping that we're going to see some sort of water-based attraction. There's no water rides at Disney Hollywood Studios. Not a slow-moving dark ride, not a thrill ride. They could do something akin to Grizzly Peak over there. Wait, that's not what it's called. Grizzly River Run?
Grizzly River Run, grr.
Would be great over there. Or just a slow-moving dark ride that has something to do with literally any IP. They could pick anything, because that section has nothing.
Yeah.
It really has nothing. But it has Little Mermaid,
time.
And it has Disney Junior. And right now it has Launch Bay.
But all of that is disposable at this point.
Literally. It all feels like placeholders. So hopefully something is going to be announced that it's going in there.
The other big project we know about is over on the other coast at Disneyland, and that's Disneyland Forward. This is a multi-year reimagining of the entire west side of Disneyland, with additions to what appears to be additions to, not a third park, but additions to California Adventure and to Disneyland.
We have heard a lot of people speculating that that is going to be a third gate, and I just don't believe that it is.
The way the hotels sit right in the center of that would be very difficult to actually have a third gate there, and I think it's too small of a property.
Agreed.
To really be something that could be expandable.
Because you want a third gate. This is the mistake they made adding in DCA as the second gate as it was when it opened, in that it wasn't a full park. So to open a third gate in a very small footprint, it would have to be worth a full day's admission. You don't want it to be a park that people are just going to come to for 2 hours and leave.
Right, and unless it's like a water park, where it could be smaller,
right,
then it would be maybe worth a third gate. But from what we've seen, it does appear that they do show a pathway from over by Emotional Whirlwind at California Adventure with a tunnel or bridge over to what's now the Simba parking lot, and that would become the extension of California Adventure, and a connection, either tunnel or bridge, to the Disneyland Hotel parking lot, and that would become the extension of Disneyland from Critter Country. So both of those would then have an entrance plaza, much like they do now, the Disneyland Plaza entrance. There would be a duplicate one over in front of the Disneyland Hotel that would have a separate entrance then for California Adventure and a separate entrance for Disneyland. So that's where those additional areas would be added. But what do you think, Sue, will be the themes in those areas?
Well, we had talked a little bit about this when we were discussing the episode, and we definitely think that part of the DCA expansion will contain Wakanda. I think that would be amazing, and they've kind of already hinted that that's coming in some capacity, so that would be a great use of that. But I also think one of them, your speculation, tell us your speculation for Disneyland's.
Well, my speculation for Disneyland is going to be a duplication of Fantasy Springs from Disney Seas in Tokyo. It looks about to be the right size.
Well, and tell us what that is, because not everybody's going to be familiar with that.
It's 3 smaller areas, one for Frozen, one for Peter Pan, and one for Tangled. Now, if that area is not going to be big enough for that, they might scale it back, drop the Peter Pan part, and just have Tangled and Frozen. Those would be the 2 I would think they would save.
Or duplicate just the Arendelle that they have put at other locations and just do Arendelle there.
That's very true.
Which would also be nice. My speculation is that they are going to do an expansion that is going to contain the villains. Because
I love that idea.
The villains have been... There's been a public outcry of wanting a villains park. I don't think when you break it down piece by piece, people actually want an entire villains park. I don't think that that's feasible. And I think when you start breaking down the elements, you're going to find out that it doesn't work. But to do an expansion and do a whole villains land would be incredible. And I just think the timing's right. I think that's where they're going to lean.
Well, and then over at the DCA side, you could do extra Marvel things over there. I mean, there could be things based on other Marvel characters. But we also know that Avatar is coming to the Disneyland Resort.
Also true.
What we've heard other people talk about and speculate is that the bus loop and what's now the Hollywood Studios area, or the Hollywood backlot area, will become Avatar. It's about the right size. We're looking at about 4 to 5 acres by doing that. It's going to be probably just a tad smaller than what you see at Animal Kingdom, but it would be a nice extension beyond the berm, so to speak, for DCA and get rid of those empty buildings that are just sitting there, it would mean the removal of animation, Muppets. Well, no, it's not Muppets anymore. It's PhilharMagic, and it doesn't even fit the screen, so we can get rid of that. But it would also mean the removal or the moving of Monsters, Inc., which I love that attraction.
I do, too.
But to see Avatar come in there would be great. Now, here's the thing. Wakanda and Avatar mean nothing about California. But
True.
then neither does Marvel.
True.
So here's my little thought, is that eventually, with what we're about to talk about for Paris, is that we may see a retheme to Adventure World California and studios in Florida, Adventure World Florida.
Orlando, yeah.
Orlando. And then what we know for Paris is Adventure World Paris is going to become the new theme, or the new name.
Which they've already announced.
Already announced, yes, for Walt Disney Studios Paris. So having, like they do now with the 3 castle parks, or the 4 or 5 castle parks now, with them all being called Disneyland, having 3 parks called Adventure World in 3 different parts of the world.
Because the studios idea is long gone. It's long gone from MGM Studios is no more, obviously. It's Disney Hollywood Studios, but even studios from that isn't a thing anymore, other than the Indiana Jones stunt spectacular. Yeah, there's no behind-the-scenes anything.
That fits into an Adventure World kind of a thought,
absolutely.
Too, so.
But I'm just saying that's the only thing left that's anything to do with behind-the-scenes.
Well, and with the bringing in of Avatar and like Wakanda or some other IP, same with California Adventure. There's just not anything left of California.
Yeah, even the whole area that was like the winery, and they had the Mondavi up there, and like all of that's all changed now. And then you have like the boardwalk section,
Paradise
which is still
Pier.
Paradise Pier. It's still boardwalk, but it's been all rethemed to Pixar. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with actually being a boardwalk anymore. It just happens to be a boardwalk where they could fit Pixar Land. So,
right.
But another fun thing coming to Paris, while we're talking about that, is Lion King.
Yeah, along with the Frozen area being built on the backside of that new lake we think is going to be Lion King.
They've hinted. I don't know that they've said anything concrete yet. We're hoping for more concrete information about that.
Well, and you had a thought about this IP going into more than one place.
I did. I thought that having it go into Paris and then having repeatable elements for other parks, as they like to do, I thought it could also be a really fun addition to Animal Kingdom. I thought that would be really fun. They could even do it as part of the expansion for the Disneyland park as well.
True.
So
yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing, but my one wish, and Disney, please listen, do not call it Lion King Land.
Please no.
Please. Whatever that weird trend is that's happening, please stop it.
Cars Land.
It's
Frozen Land. Well, it's not Frozen
the
Land,
Pride Lands would be perfect.
Pride Lands would be perfect, yes.
Pride Rock. Call it the Savannah. I don't care. Please don't call it Lion King Land. That is my one wish.
If it's in Animal Kingdom, it could be an extension of Africa that's already there. So
yeah.
It wouldn't even it would just be a subland, basically, of Africa.
Which would be amazing.
That would be cool.
Yeah. So that is my hope. I don't know that we'll get anything more specific, but that Lion King is coming. I'm hoping that we're going to get either a hybrid coaster dark ride, like they've been doing recently with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom, or in
Wandering
Arendelle.
Oaken's sliding sleds, yeah.
Yes, Wandering Oaken sliding sleds, and that's it.
That's in Hong Kong. Disneyland.
So
I really want to go see that area too.
I
It
do
looks
too.
so amazing.
But that whole trend that they're doing with the sort of hybrid of a dark ride with a family coaster built in, that would be a really fun thing for Lion King, I think. Or
I could just see it and mix it somehow with the dig a tunnel.
Oh my gosh, that would be so
Lion
fun.
King 1.5.
As you go down underneath, there's all the meerkats.
That's
tunnel. That would be so fun.
There you go. That's the coaster.
Oh my gosh, I would love that.
that
would be amazing.
Oh man.
But they could also go another route and do a full-on coaster like Disney doesn't do. Yeah, like we're talking like Velocicoaster, but Escape from Scar.
Well, like they were going to do original. Yeah, exactly. But they were going to do that with the Boneyard. But they need a big high-energy coaster outside. Like a loop coaster of some sort.
Like Rock and Roller Coaster, but outside.
Yeah, and then if you think Paris and if you think Tokyo Disney Sea, they do have the Indiana Jones themed coasters that have the loops in them.
That is true.
But
and
something
if
like
you
that would be cool.
are currently someone who has no knees, those are great attractions.
those are painful if you're over 5'2".
Yeah, those are, they make my knees hurt just looking at those little cars. But anyway, lots and lots and lots of potential for Lion King.
Here's one other thing that I noticed, and this is going back to Disneyland Forward. And this is another speculation, so this might be a wish or speculation. I'm not sure what you would say it is. I noticed the monorail station in the picture that they showed of the expansion area is gone from Disney Springs. My thought is if they're going to put another full entrance right there for Disneyland and California Adventure by the Disneyland Hotel, they don't need the monorail to be a gate, so to speak, into the park. I'm thinking that they're going to rearrange it so that there's a station either in that courtyard area of the Grand Californian, but most likely, here's my thought, is they're going to actually put a station just inside the new entrance in the expansion area. And therefore, the monorail becomes in-park transportation only. You get rid of all that minor infrastructure.
Like Hogwarts Express.
Yes, exactly. Well, no, but it's in the same park. It's not park to park.
But
it's all within Disneyland. They could, if they extended the track over, then they could do that, definitely.
It goes over the Golden Gate Bridge. What do you mean that's
not
a
true.
thing
They
anymore?
could, I hadn't thought of that. That's true. They could put a station there. Oh, that's going to be interesting, because if that's going to go through the center of Avatar...
how is that going to happen?
That? They're going to have to redo that track anyway. I hadn't even thought of that. Oh, my heavens, that's right.
My hope is that if they're going to start messing with the monorail, that they make it true monorail transportation and attach it to the parking structure.
That would be awesome.
That would be incredible to be able to do that across, not worry about crossing the busy streets, not worry about parking trams, none of that. All that goes away. That would be incredible.
That would be nice. And they could run it across harbor to the new parking garage they're building over there, too.
I approve.
Hey, look at that. Well, that's really blue sky there, I think.
Now, speaking of blue sky, let's talk about our final thing for this. And if you have been watching any of the Disney Parks announcements, the Disney Parks posts on any of the social media platforms, you have seen hashtag Horizons.
Horizon.
What?
Shiny and new. Yeah. Come on,
guys.
What does it mean? That's just mean if it's not really Horizons. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, and now if you look at the picture, there's representation of cruise ships. There's 2 cruise ships. There's representation of DCA and of
Hollywood. Not Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Because
Grauman's is in there.
That's right, Grauman's is there. And Studios Paris.
Studios Paris is in there. There's no representation of what appears to be Epcot. So why are they using the name Horizons when they know that's just cruel if it doesn't actually mean Horizons?
That's not very Epcotian.
It's not Epcotian at all. But my theory is that they got babies to do this who don't know the original Horizons.
Or what it means to people that are Epcotian.
Right? How deep that digs into our little Epcotian hearts. And that they're using that as a term to say, we are no longer talking in blue sky terms, we're going closer down to Earth, and we're looking at the horizon instead. And that's kind of what I think they're leaning towards, and that it's like a concept thing. I'm still hoping they're bringing back Horizons,
yeah,
but Horizons, chances of that are so small.
Horizons would fit inside the Health and Life Pavilion. That's
all
I'm saying. It's not like we've said that every other episode, but come on, Disney, are you listening?
But seriously, if we find out that it is just a concept thing and they're not talking about actual Horizons, that's just mean. It's mean.
It really is.
But Disney has been so close-lipped about this. They are saying nothing. And so if you have a speculation, well, first of all, what do you want to see at D23? What do you think is going to be? Where do you think we went off the rails? What do you think we got right? What did we miss that was an important announcement to you that maybe we skipped over? And what do you think hashtag Horizons is?
Ooh.
I gotta
know.
Ah.
Well, we'll have the actual D23 What's Happening in just a couple episodes. So we'll find out how close we were to the real world here.
So stay tuned.
Before we go, we'd like to give a big thank you to our theme music composer, Jason Patrick Rowan, whose music is licensed through Pond 5. And of course, thank you, Phoenicians.
Thank you, Phoenicians. And don't forget to rate, review, like, share, and subscribe. It really does help other people find us. You can find us on social media on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts.
The Epcotian Adventure is a $1,000 brunch production and a proud gold member of D23, which we just talked about. Yay! Yay! Thanks for joining us today for episode 74 of the Epcotian Adventure. I'm Rod.
And I'm Sue.
And we'll see ya at D23.
Bye. That's a very good point. You can cut all of that because I don't know why I'm making noises.